Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We have got to talk about episode, what is this, 3 of The Bachelorette? I feel
It's
like
only episode 3.
yeah.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can find a link in the description. Sarah, this is messy.
I mean, it's so messy. And my question is like, how much of this is even normal? This is like all over the map messy.
I mean, there have been obviously scenarios where a girl is super into a guy, maybe I think Caitlin Bristow famously was physical with a guy super early on and people found out about it and that was, controversial. But this is another level.
Yeah, this is I'm new, so it's not like I have a bunch of respect for this franchise, but it seems like Clare doesn't have respect for this franchise either. And she's been in it for like a decade.
Watching this episode specifically, I was like, this is disrespectful to the guys, like flat out. Her behavior. It's just not cool.
Yeah. Like we know that in most seasons, there's always front runners. It's probably a couple, right? You click with a couple people and you're always going to keep them around and you're keeping some of the others around just for television. Mm-hmm. So play it off a little bit, honey.
I just don't know that there's ever really been
this is
a situation like this where she only wants to spend time with this person. She's telling Chris in private interviews that he is the one. Like this, just they keep up appearances. Like that's their job as the bachelor or bachelorette, to make it seem like they're in love with multiple people. It's so crazy,
and she can't do it. Okay, she's a handful. It's a lot, but. Right before we went live, I was like, David, for a show that loves to tease for ever, because sometimes you'll watch the show for 2 hours and one thing happened. No, we dove right into it for this 3rd episode. We start right off with Mr. Villain Yosef.
Oh my God.
He's back to she's raunchy. She's classless.
Yeah.
She's distasteful.
Yeah, right. He's ranting to the guys and they're kind of like, well, are you going to tell her? You're going to talk to her? And he's like, yeah, I am going to go talk to her. So he interrupts her one-on-one time with Jordan and proceeds to absolutely trash her. And I got to give credit to her here. She sat there.
Yes.
Was not flinching or reacting. Are you crazy? You're speaking to me. She was so calm and collected and just let him unload on her before she snapped and flipped it and made him look like the absolute jerk that he is.
Yeah. Okay. Before he goes to Clare, I just thought it was interesting because you brought this up last time where the other guys are egging him on to bring it up. Mm-hmm. They want him to blow it up and get the heck out of there and stop being competition for them. So they're like, but are you going to bring it up? But are you going to bring it up? And his attitude was like, you guys, I promise you, I will, as if it was a thing of value that he was saying. And he didn't even realize that they were like, yeah, you're going to talk to her? You're going to talk to her? Because he was like, trust me, guys, what I stand for, I will let her know.
I am a man of character and I will be letting Clare know. But he is so rude to her.
Oh my God, he's so rude.
Her, he's saying things like, I wouldn't be caught dead doing something like this. That's fair, I guess. If we mentioned last week, you signed up the show, you knew what you were getting into. But if you're not into showing your butt on camera and you think that's going to be bad for your daughter to see, okay, I get expressing that to Clare. But for you to say that she's setting a horrible example for his daughter, what does his daughter mean to her at this point? He's just being so mean.
He was. I mean, I think he started out okay, and that's why she was being super respectful. Because saying things like, look, I have a daughter, and I'm here for my daughter, and every minute that I'm here, is a minute taken away from my daughter. Like he really started well. And so she's like, oh my God, yes, I hear you. I thought she was doing a great job listening. And then he just like kept ramping up. And now he's saying things like, you're not fit for my daughter. You are not worth my time. Like he's amping up to this. And she says one thing after literally listening to him so well for forever.
Yeah.
She says one thing and he says, no, you don't get to cut me off. And she's like, I just listened to you.
Yeah. She's like, no, you're done. I'm going to tell you why you're done.
Yeah.
And then she's like listing it out. Cause she's like, I just listened to you ramble on and on. Yeah. It's my turn now. Yes. And, she just like really puts him in his place. I love that, we get this like echo of her experience with Juan Pablo, where she's like, I never thought that I would have to say these words to a man again, but I would never want you to be the father of my child. And that's when it's like just totally petty at this point, and he hits her back with the like, no, you're unfit to be the mother, and he's just like unleashing. Like it felt like he started off so reasonable, and then like he wasn't getting the reaction that he wanted.
Yes.
And so then he was like picking at it and like just getting more intense to really rile her up. And ultimately she let him have it. And I loved it.
I did. I love this moment. I mean, yes, you always, okay, first off, no one should speak to anyone that way. He was straight up, he was disrespectful. And if you think that that's how you get to speak to people, you need to be put in your place. Yeah. She, I forgot my point, but she was doing a great job of being like, no, I'm in charge. You may now leave. Oh, I think what I wanted to ask was, what was his intention? Because like you said, he wasn't getting a rise out of her. Was he looking for her to be upset? Or did he really think that she'd be like, you're right. How did I ever disrespect you? Let me get myself in line for you now. Like, does that work for him in the past?
I think that, that is the power dynamic that he's looking for, because when she stood up and started to speak up for herself, he was very much like, no, that's not how this works. Like, he's clearly been in relationships with women where they maybe don't stand up to him. I mean, we know he was in a relationship with one woman at least, because he has a daughter, right?
Now we understand why they are no longer in a relationship, because women run for your lives. Hello, Alana from Amazing Race. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah. What was his deal? But glad you showed me who you were real quick, because Claire's like, I don't got time for you. Why don't you go back to your daughter and I will move on. And then we get the amazing moment where he yells across the whole yard. I expected more from the oldest Bachelorette in history. And of course, now the guys are like, what's happening? And they're jumping up and running over.
They're trying to like protect her. She's there. She's like, you know what? I am old, and I'm old because I don't, the line that I love, I don't settle for men like that. Like, it just is, I could watch it 100 times. It's so satisfying to see this. And what normally happens in a scenario like this, when one of the guys flies off the handle, or the bachelor or bachelorette is in an incredibly stressful situation, so the group rallies around her. Okay. The group of guys are there. There's many shoulders to cry on here. It's like a big upswell of, we're here for you. Forget that guy. Look at all the amazing guys you have still left here. We're here for you. Let's move on. All of us together. But the producers just cued Dale in this case.
It was so obvious, because you see the group start together. Like, they start to come around her and they're like, oh, I'm heated. Like, Claire, it's okay. It's okay. But then they just, and Dale's nowhere to be seen. He's not outside with this group of guys who are overhearing this. They all sort of disappear. And then out of the blue, Dale arrives, and he just swoops her in his arms and says all the right things. And Claire flips to the other Claire, like she likes to do. And all of a sudden she's like, yeah, Oh, yeah.
She's
As she's like rubbing the
melting
back
into
of his
him.
neck. She's
Yes.
like, he said everyone's here to appease me. Are you appeasing me?
No, she's just like falling all over him and grabbing a hold of him. And it's like they're in a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what is the deal here? Like, this is so crazy.
It was a lot. And obviously, she is now a bit shook. She's not in a place to have sort of meaningful one-on-one conversations.
No.
So she comes back to the group as a whole to say, you know, sorry, but is it okay if I just like gather myself and then we'll do a rose ceremony?
Yeah, right. And you know, right
well.
before she tells the guys this, she is sitting down with Chris and he's checking in on her, and that's normal for them to have like a little check-in with Chris there. But the fact that she's like, oh, I just can't stop thinking about Dale. Like, he is so amazing. You know, like, this is irregular. This is not normally what happens. Like, if she is talking about one guy, she's talking about 4 or 5 guys, you know, where it's like, oh, there's so many great guys.
Right.
Dale, Easy, so-and-so, so-and-so, you know, like, it's not just one. But even Chris is like, yeah, we can tell you're just totally obsessed with Dale.
You keep bringing that up. Yeah, clear, loud and clear. We got it.
Right.
All right. So you told me to look out for who's the first to get a rose. And I noticed that Dale was the first to get a rose.
Yeah.
She said to the producer, she was like, Dale gets a rose and then you guys can just fill in the rest. I don't know. Who else is here?
Exactly. Like, I came up with this whole cute little game for us to be like, oh, let's come up with a reason why these guys aren't staying, why she's sending them home. But at the end of the day, they're not Dale. And so they're going home. And that's what's going on here.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know who any of these guys are.
Yes.
And Dale's the only one I know, so I'm going to give him a rose. I've met a couple other guys, so I'll throw in a couple roses for them. Right. The rest, they can just go. I don't know. Huh?
No, for sure. I mean, it was for the record, it was Tyler, Guerin, and Blake Monar. I don't even know how you say it, and neither does Claire, I'm sure. Yeah, right. The other Blake.
The other Blake, who we didn't know at all, buddy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so they're gone. But does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. No, who these people are that are here or there. Like, if you got a rose, doesn't matter. Like,
if you're not Dale, you might as well just be an employee at La Quinta. Like, I don't know why are you here? Like, can you get me a Diet Coke? Why do you want to talk to me right now? I'm with Dale.
Find Dale for me. It just doesn't matter. And you guys, this was just the beginning.
Oh my God, I know.
Continues here. Okay.
Right.
Well, it's the next day. And I believe we're supposed to have a group date, right? We do get that set up first where they get their names. Right. So they get excited when they're put on a group date, right? They're hoping to spend time with her.
Yep. Dale's on the group date. He is the last name on there. So I think they're all just kind of like, oh my God, again. Like, it just slowly is building throughout the episode. The guys kind of like getting frustrated with Dale, rolling their eyes, like they're reading the situation. You know, they don't have to see this like nice polished final edit of the show to know that Claire is obsessed with Dale. They already know.
Okay. But before we even get on the mess that is this group date, this girl arrives. I'm going to call her Deanna.
Right. We couldn't figure out, is it Deanna? I was like trying to Google it and then I was like, whatever. Claire said Deanna, right?
Yeah, Claire called her Deanna, whatever. So she used to be on the show 1,000 years ago.
Yes, she was season 4 of The Bachelorette. And I was like, sort of surprised to see her. Like, it's not unusual for former bachelors or bachelorettes to come on and like give advice and stuff. But I was just like, whoa, Deanna hasn't been here in forever. Like, what is she doing here? Does she know Claire?
Does she was she quarantining? Like, everyone else was like in that hotel for 2 weeks. Like, where was she? Like, please tell me she did not quarantine for 2 weeks to like pop in for this 5 minutes for Claire just to be like, oh, I found him. I know. His name is Dale and I have his pants.
Oh my God.
David.
And then they proceed to bury their faces in his pants to smell him. What is it with Clare and smelling people? Like, this is a weird kink, and I need it to be over.
Well, I'm a visual person, so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she's a smelly person. What's that?
What is it?
Not
it's like auditory would be it's not ears. Ocular. Oh my God. Alana, are you still in the chat? Tell us what it is.
Alana are here, and they're 5,000 times smarter than us, and they're about to like put us in our place. And I'm embarrassed, but you guys get it. It's your olfactory, OL. So is it
there you go.
Blah, 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 blah. That's all I know. It's your olfactory sense. Okay, great.
Whatever it is, Claire's into it. Yeah. So apparently I'm confused as to what was really going on here, but it kind of comes off like she and Deanna were just sniffing those pants for way too long, and she blew by the group date. So she comes in and she cancels the day date. The guys are all like, in their nice little short sleeve button downs, ready to go, like excited to see Clare. And she's like, first of all, she comes and sits right next to Dale. And she's like, so I have an announcement, like, oh my God, it's getting late. Like, let's just kill the day date. I don't need it. We'll just do an extended cocktail party. And I'm like, what is happening here? Is there like some COVID thing that happened where they had to cancel this, or did the Deanna thing just run long? Like, I was very confused.
No, yeah. The first thought is, well, the producers schedule all of this. So they scheduled it where Deanna had the time, and then they went on a date. So like, I doubt, unless something like crazy happened, but here's a little something I'm going to throw in here. Clare is a Pisces. And Pisces, let me tell you a couple things, because some of this does fit. A Pisces does not care for rules. They do not follow a box. They are outside of the box. So all of this, her breaking rules, does make sense. They don't mean to be like rude or anything. They just don't care about boundaries. They're very fluid, and they 100% don't understand time. They come and go as they wish. And I can see her being like, done talking to Deanna, went back to smelling the pants and writing more in her journal, and then like grabbed a producer and was like, is Dale around? And they were like, we can't grab Dale right now. And then she like went back to the bathroom to fix her hair again. And then all of a sudden, they didn't have time for a date. So
I need that footage. I need to see that. Because I'm certain that's what happened now. Like, I believe you.
Yeah, it is a thing about Pisces. So that's my theory on what happened. And she just strolled in as if being hours late is no big deal. And she cancels as if that's no big deal.
No,
and
she like cancels and then she walks out and she's like, sorry to make you guys wait. Bye. Like, it just is so casual that they've been waiting all afternoon. And she comes in and is like, so we're off, or the group date is off. I'll just see you tonight. Okay, let's get ready. Bye. It's like, Clare, like, you need to be a little more sincere, a little more forceful.
A little that. Okay, so they all go get pretty, because now we do nighttime stuff in pretty clothes.
Yes.
And she starts it out. No, Dale starts this out, right?
Dale starts out the group date. He's like, so guys, I just wanna, request 5 minutes with Clare first. Like, I think it's important that I talk to Clare first tonight, with everything that went down with the Yosef thing. I'm sure these guys know that Dale is the one who swooped in and comforted her after Yosef went home. And now Dale's out here like, I need more time. You guys, like, you just got to give me 5 minutes. He's very specific.
He did.
5 minutes.
He did. But it's Clare. Claire's the bad influence here, because they walk off and she's like, oh, look, did we just go to my place? This is where I live. Come on in. And it does not take long that they're rolling around on the bed. They don't care what time it is. I mean, Dale does throw in a couple things like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, oh, but she's all like, whatever. There are other people at La Pizza.
She's like, I don't care. Like, I need you to put your hand higher on my thigh and let's keep making out. Like, he's putting his fingers under her shorts. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, as if we didn't know that she
hey.
was already obsessed with him. Like, but I'm like, okay, the cameras are there. They don't care. I was like, how far is this going to go? Because didn't she also lose her jacket at some point? Like, clothes are coming off.
The jacket is off. The jacket is off. She is pulling him all around the bed. Hands are all over. And then knock, knock, knock. Because it's been 45 minutes to an hour, they're saying. Yeah. And they're walking around looking, because usually they are outside somewhere and you can walk up and say, hey, you mind if I take over? And that's a natural, normal thing. But they can't find them because they're in her bedroom.
Right. So they're probably like going door to door, like knocking, looking around corners, like where are Dale and Clare? Where did they go? And then Easy knocks on the door.
Someone told Easy to knock on the door because he didn't even know what it was. And he's like, oh, y'all are in here? Okay, this was straight up like parents caught teenagers making out. They were giggly, uncomfortable. Dale's like pretending to sit on a chair like way over on the other side of the room.
Oh my God. It was so awkward. And she's like, Easy like is there at the door and she's like, oh, welcome to my home, and she like does this tour and she's like, oh, Dale's here. Look, oh, Dale, I forgot you were here. And then, he's very uncomfortable and he's like, oh, I guess I'll just like back out of here. And she's like, oh, no, stay. And he's like, no, I should go.
Okay, in this moment when Easy has interrupted them and like Dale is trying to sneak out, Dale first, he said before Easy showed up, he said, oh my God, I'm going to get so much flack from the guys. And she's like, wait, what? Why? As if she doesn't understand what's going on. And then as Dale's like trying to sneak out because Easy is now here, she's like, wait, what are you leaving? Give me a hug. Like she won't even let him go.
It's just like, Claire, just get him out of here. Like, you have another man in your room and he is here for you. Like, just boot Dale's ass outside and like talk to Easy. Like, be respectful. Like, again, this is when it really starts to just be rude, It is.
Like, and Easy's like uncomfortable. Nobody is comfortable here. The guys in the back are like starting to learn like, oh, wait a minute. Dale's been with her this whole time. Dale's giggly. He can't even talk to them straight when he sits down with them.
My God.
And it proceeds to get worse because she does the rounds, even though we hear her say to a producer, let's just hurry through the rest of them, right? And they're like, okay. So you can see they're trying, they're sending them in. They're like, my turn. Like we see a bunch of this. And then Dale shows up again.
Like who? I was about to say, like, who's letting Dale just wander around? But I'm sure the producers were like, if you want to go back there, like they're in this room, Dale, like if you need to go. And it's like, just say you're going to the bathroom. It's like right around there, So he opens the door and it's full on like, oh, crap. Oh, God, sorry. Oh. Yeah. And she's like, what? Do you want to come in? Like, come on, Dale, come on in. And Jay, I think it's Jay's time again, who cares? Like, as long as you're not Dale, why are we learning your name?
I'm not learning your names. The only one I know is Easy because I find him humorous. No one else's name do I know.
Right. But she just invites Dale to join her one-on-one time with this other guy. It's not even like, oh, do you mind like giving us the room? It's like, come on, hang out with us. You're here. What? Come on
in. It's so awkward and uncomfortable because like for whatever reason, whether Dale knew what he was doing or didn't, he walked into the room and he stopped when he saw there was another dude in there. And so he was like, oh, sorry. And she says, no, come in. You can't say no to her. Like any other time, I'd be like, no, it's okay. That's his turn. We've already had our time. She would have murdered him. So he's like, oh, yeah, okay, sure, I'll come in.
She would have been like, Jay, excuse me. Well, I need some time with Dale because we need to talk, Dale. Like, that's what would have happened if he'd said no. So Jay's just kind of like, I guess I'll go. And so he goes back. And at this point, the guys are over it because, Jay is coming back with this information of like, well, Dale interrupted me. And so Dale's with Clare again. Eventually, Dale comes back, grinning ear to ear. He can't help himself. Like, again, this is just disrespectful to these guys.
Well, and the guy's fine because when Jay or whatever his name is comes back, he's like, Dale interrupted. And they're like, oh, hold up. Dale's with her again, and they're done. They're over it. Okay, let's skip to the end of this because it just gets worse. Claire eventually comes out with her hair. She's got bedhead. Her hair is like this.
Yep.
The producers did not smooth that down for her because she's been making out. And she's like, so, hey, guys, that was fun. I'm going to give a rose to Dale.
Yeah, she literally like couldn't even finish her thought. And she like kind of stops herself and she goes, yeah, Dale.
Yeah.
Dale, you get this. Like, it just, she's like looking at another guy and she's like, yeah, not you, Dale. You know, it's like, oh my God, it just is never ending, you know?
She's like, I'm speaking to a group of you, but Dale, all about Dale. Where's Dale? Where are you sitting? It's all about Dale.
Oh, yeah. So I think when they finally, when those guys like get back to the house, it's kind of like a house meeting and Dale's there grinning, rose on his shirt. The guys who are at this group date are pissed and everyone else is kind of like finding out what's happened. And Dale makes a comment like, I just feel like I'm the best suited for her. Oh. And Jason is about to like snap Dale in half. He's like, how dare you say that?
Yes. Okay. No, I do like Jason. I forgot I like Jason. He's the guy who can't express his feelings, but he's doing a really good job in this moment expressing that Dale said something that he didn't appreciate. They're all like, oh, yeah, go ahead. Tell us. No, continue that sentence. What? You're the best suited for Claire? What do you say?
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
And Dale,
totally.
Maybe that wasn't the right phrase, but I just... There's no, he
can't. There's no coming back from that. Like, Jason's pissed, Easy's pissed, everybody's pissed at Dale. Like, they are just over it, and I totally understand why.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, I feel bad for every single person who quarantined and went through all of this and are not getting a chance at all. It's pretty insane. But here's where it gets really weird because the next day is a one-on-one date and it sounds like she's going to spend like the most of the day with this person and then they're going to have dinner. Why in any universe was this not Dale's date?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there would have been a walkout if this had been Dale's date. They would have been like, what is the point? This is over. You're clearly picking Dale. Like, I think the producers were probably like, we got to have something else here, Claire. Like, we got to mix it up a little bit. Pick.
I mean, I guess, but we haven't even had a one-on-one date yet.
Well,
with
Jason
Dale.
had one,
I'm sorry.
remember? Oh, yeah.
I meant Dale. Dale hasn't gotten one-on-one time with her, like, legally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
According to the Bachelorette law, yes.
These rules that we're supposed to follow, like they haven't gotten a one-on-one date. So I feel like he shouldn't have been on that group date. We would have never had this drama. They could have spent the whole day together and no one would have realized that they were off together alone when they shouldn't be because they were supposed to be. Like it was probably set up by a producer to force this kind of drama. I think it's going to backfire on the producers if we are reading the previews correctly.
I mean, oddly, this one-on-one date is just as dramatic as all the stuff that happened on the group date with Dale.
Well, of course, because it's not Dale.
Yeah, right. It's just wrong from the beginning. Yeah,
exactly. Poor Zach J, and I only know that because I wrote it down. He is super stoked because he gets a one-on-one date. And this is, from what I hear, this is normal. You get a one-on-one date, you get excited.
Yeah, of course.
You get your time.
He's down for a pedicure, sure, whatever I got to do. Like, I got weird feet, but okay, like, let's do pedicures. I just want time with Claire. And he seems like, he wasn't on that group date. So he heard about the drama, but he wasn't there for it. So I think he's still in a headspace of like, I think I've got a shot when we, it's hopeless, but he's excited to go on this one-on-one and spend the time with her. So they get their pedicures. They're in their cute little robes, classic Bachelorette date. Then they're in the pool, splashing around. He's like doing a cannonball and she's hopping on the floaty. It's all cute. And then she's like, they're playing with the dog. It's all great. She's like, let's go get ready for dinner. And then I'll see you later. She goes in to kiss. And she stops and like kind of opens her eyes and looks at him and pulls away and reacts like he did something weird. Did you see him do anything weird, Sarah? Because I didn't.
No, this is so odd. Because first off, why did she lean in for a kiss? I feel like she leaned in for a kiss, saw it wasn't Dale, and jerked back.
Yeah, like, oh God, I'm about to cheat on Dale.
Yeah, it felt like she got caught up or just thought she was being polite. I don't know why she went in for the kiss because she changed her mind.
Yeah.
He did one of those, just like, I think they do this on TV. This isn't real life, right? He did one of those things where she's coming in for a kiss and he was like, and he took his time because he was being like, I think he thought he was being dramatic and like cool. It's not cool. Just kiss. Okay.
Go in.
But he was like, oh, and he took too much time. She was like, no, okay. You're not Dale. Yeah. This is wrong. I can't do it. And then he's like, wait, no, because he's mortified. He's also mad because it didn't go well. And he reaches out to grab her, which I get as a natural reaction, but you just can't do it. You just can't.
I have to say, like, watching it, I do feel bad for the guy here because Claire definitely flipped it on him. And, you know, she was like, what was that? When he didn't do anything, he was just there waiting. If anything, like, he just didn't, you know, in the movie Hitch, when Will Smith is coaching him and he's like, you know, you got to do like 70-30 or whatever in terms of like the ratio of who's going in for the kiss. So maybe he didn't do that 30% and she flipped, but like, she's very much like, what was that weird vibe, Zach J? And Claire is 100% the one with the weird vibe.
Yes.
But even when I was watching this, I feel bad for the guy because, like, you know, that he was kind of characterized a certain way here. But it was a solid hand on the face. It was like a grip, you know, and it felt uncomfortable to me even watching it. And then eventually, you can see Claire's face shift. And she makes some comment about like, this is scary, kind of under her breath. And this is all very triggering for her because, as we know, she was like getting out of an abusive relationship when she was on her first season of The Bachelor with Juan Pablo. Like, that was part of her story. And so she's just spooked because of the way he's putting his hands on her.
Yeah, and I get it. I get like that too. I've never been in a physical abusive relationship, but if anyone grabs me and restricts my movement, I get uncomfortable. And I'm like, please stop touching me. Like, I need to have freedom in my movement. And I get that you're upset because, yes, this is on Claire 100%. She did some weird, I don't know. And you're now in a weird predicament. But you just unfortunately can't grab her. And it just spirals. It gets worse and worse because he's trying to be like, wait, why? What's happening? Why?
What went
wrong? Like, I'm trying to kiss you. Like, I didn't pull away at all. Like, he's trying. And she's just like, no, and she like runs away.
Yeah, he's like, what happened? Like, and she's like, nothing. And I feel like she's not hearing what he's saying in this moment. I don't think because she's just like triggered by the touch, you know, and she's kind of like, I got to get away. Like, you can tell she's kind of in flight mode. It's like uncomfortable. And I feel bad for both of them, really, because, like, you know, I do think that Claire flipped it on him and he didn't do anything weird. But I also don't like seeing her, you know, be triggered with this kind of,
We see her like cuddling with her dogs afterwards. Like, it obviously did not sit well with her. And again, I think we're both saying we get it. We relate. We understand. But it just, it's such a horrible moment because now poor, what's his name? Zach J is sitting at a table waiting to have dinner with her. And she just does not show up.
No, they like let him get ready. They let him shower and like put on the cologne and shave. And like, he's all set for this dinner. He obviously knows it's going to be awkward. And he's like, crap, we got to clear this up. But he never sees Claire again because Chris joins him for dinner. And Chris is like, so there is no dinner and there is no future for you on this show. And Claire is sending you home.
You can just leave now. Basically, is it? And then they, for some reason, have his bag stashed away. This is so set up. Like,
well, they always pack when they go on a one-on-one, or they at least like have the illusion of having pact, because if you don't get a rose on your one-on-one date, you're going home.
That's it.
So you either get a rose on the one-on-one or you're out. So they always like have those suitcases. You'll probably see that again. Well, probably not with Claire, but once we get all of this mess sorted out, you will probably see that again, where someone is going to go on a one-on-one date and the PA will come in and roll their bags out. And that's how the guys always find out that someone.
Oh my gosh. What a crazy dramatic thing to set up, but okay. All of a sudden they're like, oh, there goes his bag. Oh, geez. And that's it. He's gone. And that was uncomfortable for everybody. But it just continues because there's still.
Uh-oh, Sarah, you're frozen on my end. Am I frozen on your end?
Okay.
Oh, now you're back. I think.
Sorry, I froze. Okay,
you're back now. You're back.
Okay.
Okay, where were we? So we are going into the next group date, right?
We're going to go to the next group date. Yes.
Yes. So this is a roast. We've got Margaret Cho here to help coach the guys. You know, they've always got some kind of celebrity at some point, super fan during the season. So fun to see her. And she's there to, I guess, coach them. We don't see a ton of coaching, but she's there as the guest of this roast.
To talk about a roast, making jokes.
And all the guys think like, whew, finally some time without Dale, right? Because he is not on this card. Thank God someone else is going to get some valuable time here. But nope.
Oh, no. Not only is Dale going to show up as the audience, all of you guys are going to be in the audience for this, right? So the group date guys are performing. The other guys are going to watch. So Dale's going to be in the audience, but he's also going to just basically be the star of the show because everyone has something to say about Dale. And honestly, I just want to say Joe seemed like he was in love with Margaret Cho. He was like, I'm Korean. And I was like, y'all should just hook up because it's not going to work with Claire. So
right. Yeah, give it a go with Margaret.
Margaret's available, but I think we have better odds with her, Joe, than
Totally, yeah. So it is the roast of Dale. And
here we go.
Claire's not laughing. Claire does not find this funny at all. Like she doesn't even crack a smile at any of the Dale references. It's all about I think Bennett gave a particularly savage set on Dale. And it's all about how he doesn't shut up. He's always talking about himself, drones on and on. Bennett has a pretty funny line about I've seen 3 cameramen collapse listening to Dale talk about himself. Like the guys are eating it up. They are loving it. Dale is kind of
out of their chairs. They are howling at every single joke. And later someone says these jokes don't always land, but every single Dale joke killed. That's the vibe of the room. And honestly, Dale took it pretty good. He's chuckling.
He was like,
along.
Okay,
he's
guys.
Okay, get it.
I talk a lot. Okay.
He really was a good sport about it all. And it was 100% Claire just being I think she might have chuckled at the first one, and then she's just you see the smoke building inside of her. She's very much what is going on?
Yeah, just kind of twitching.
Their perspective is, let's point out some things. Let's make Claire think about it a little bit. If she's so into Dale, let's make her really think about it. But she's coming from the perspective of, how dare you guys talk about the love of my life? Yeah. And she's straight up defensive.
Yeah. No, she does not like this one bit. But when it's over, there's still more of the date, right? The roast is not the last part of this group date. Now they have their little cocktail party in the evening where, they dress up in their pretty clothes. And this just turns into an interrogation where Claire wants to talk to everyone about Dale.
Yeah. And she grabs Bennett first because Bennett did go in really hard. I wouldn't call those jokes at all. They were just straight up attacks. And so she's like, so Bennett, what's Dale doing? What's Dale saying that's making you say these things? To the point that Dale's like, let's move on. Like, what else can we talk about? Like, we don't have to keep talking about Dale.
I'm surprised she wasn't like, how dare you talk about my husband that way? Like, it just was like, oh my God, it's just compounding on top of everything else. You know, I mean, I guess like they kind of asked for it maybe, but yeah, she does. She did. Yeah. Yeah.
She straight up says to her PA, handler, producer, whoever that was, I mean, they were trashing my fiance. Like, you can't speak about him like that. Like, that's how she's thinking.
It's insane. And it's, you know, I guess the guys made it about Dale and Clare followed through and made the group date about Dale. But then, like, icing on the cake here, she comes in with the rose and is like holding it. You know, it's like they're hand modeling with the rose. She's holding it out in front of herself.
Awkward.
Like, oh, you know, this is for one of you, but I didn't get what I needed from you guys, so no one's getting a rose. I'm like, this is out of control, Sarah.
It is a slap in the face.
Yes.
To all of those guys. And she then proceeds to tell us that she's giving the rose to herself. I mean, she is so proud of herself. She is feeling herself in this moment. She has stood up for her man, basically. She will not allow them to talk about her man this way. No. And she's not respecting it. And so she's going to just take that rose for herself. And these guys can just go on their way. I'm surprised she didn't send. I'm surprised she wasn't like, is there a limo ready? All of them can go.
Yeah, right. We can be done with this group. Let's hurry this process. Like literally she said earlier in the episode, let's just like hurry this along, you know?
Let's hurry this along.
Yeah. So she's like, good job, Clare. You showed up tonight. You defended your man. And the guys at this point are like, what am I doing here? You know, like, I think it's
why are we here?
Kenny is one of them who's like, if she just wants to be with Dale, be with Dale. But like, what am I doing here? What is the point of this? And like, I will say, like, the point for a lot of these guys is just exposure. We know that they're like, you know, wanting more of a following on the internet or whatever. But I too would just be like,
no,
what is this for? Like, why am I here? Why did I quarantine for 2 weeks to do this again? Like, this is awful. I don't feel good at all.
Especially since she has clearly stated a few times that she wants them to make it clear that they're there for her. Like, she needs that validation from them, but she's not giving it back to them at all. She's not really giving them the respect and the time to even see if there's anything there. And again, like we've talked about this at the top, I get it. You're always going to like have your connection with one or two people and not the rest. Like, and you have to fake a lot of it. So it's not like we don't understand her feelings. Yeah, go for it. You have a connection with Dale. Awesome. Great. He's hot. He seems lovely. He seems very kind to her. Like, awesome. But she can't even like fake it for anybody else. And so they're like, well, what's the point? If you're dating him already, why am I here?
No, she's like, here's how this episode went. Dale comforted her in the wake of a confrontation with another guy. Then she canceled a date and hooked up with Dale in the evening. Then she went on a one-on-one date and sent the guy home. And then she went on a group date, talked about Dale the whole time, and didn't give anyone a rose.
Yeah. You just summed up our entire video in like
and
the episode. You summed up the episode and our video in less than a minute.
It's just like, oh man.
So obviously she has a thing for Dale, and we see in the preview there's a girl coming out of a pool. David, tell me what this means.
I mean, it's like, you know, Chris is talking to the guys. They're still they're fed up. They're over it. People are packing. Claire's apologizing. And then Tayshia comes out of the water, slicking the hair back. I thought this was shot actually really poorly. Just like, it's my note for the network. I didn't think it was a great shot. But she's in her bikini, and this is Tayshia. Tayshia Adams, I believe, is her last name. She was on Colton Underwood's season of The Bachelor.
I'm so sorry.
So that is a recent season. She's, you know, a younger woman. She was on Bachelor in Paradise. She definitely was someone that people were talking about as like a potential, you know, Bachelorette. And she is, you know, the rumors are true. She is here to replace Clare. And I assume we're going to see that go down next week.
I have to imagine, because we also see in the preview Chris being we've seen this a few times, but Chris being like, girl, you just blew up the whole franchise.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, right.
Literally has never happened before. Like, can you get your act together? No? Okay. So I think this is it. I think that Clare had a good few episodes, and her and Dale are going to ride off into the sunset. The question is, does Tayshia get a new group of guys? Do these guys pretend that they really wanted to be with Tayshia instead of Clare? What's
truly, like, how is this going to work? I'm so interested to see how this goes. Like, I was kind of questioning, we're seeing Ben pack. So I'm like, is Ben going home because he was here for Clare? You know, I'm like wondering these things. Do some of the guys decide to go? Some of the guys decide to stay? I am fascinated to see how they sort all of this out. As annoying as I'm sure this was in the moment, the producers were also probably eating it up, because this is a first, you know, this is like never happened before. This is compelling, you know, on a franchise that's been on for, God, 50 seasons. I don't even know at this point. Like, this is the first time anything like this has happened. And so I'm really excited to see how it plays out, because it's just totally uncharted territory.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly how the producers were like, holy crap, wait, what? Clare, get it together. And then they were like, yeah, get her out of here. Let's bring in someone else.
Actually, Clare, you should leave with Dale. Yeah, because this is going to be good.
Yeah, I would imagine the producers are like, hey, this is crazy. Clare's gone, and we're bringing in Tayshia. And then some of the guys can be like, you know, I really was here for Clare. I'm going to go. And then some guys can be like, oh, that's who yes, keep me on. She's my type.
Right,
play it off, and they can sit down with her and be like, honestly, when I heard it was you coming in, I was like, I have to be here. I have to be here for her.
I have to stay. Yeah, right.
Yeah. We'll hear all of that.
It's definitely an interesting situation, because like Tayshia's got to be there like, but you came here for Clare initially, right? Like, okay.
No.
It's so
really yeah, there has to be some other new guys though that come in, right? Although we already had too many, we don't need more, but just to make it feel like she's getting a group for her, not just Clare's leftovers.
Yeah, I mean, you want a full lineup. You know, the reality is that Clare has sent home maybe almost 10 guys at this point. So even though you're right, there are still plenty of men here. Like, you kind of want Tayshia to get a fair shot, you know?
Right.
I mean, what am I saying? Fair? Like, this is, you know, a dumb reality
show.
But
fair?
Like,
what is fair? I mean, honestly, she's left some really cute guys, and some of them seem super entertaining. If I knew their names, I'd tell you, but I don't. So
you're gonna have to learn them now.
It's not a bad batch. I might learn them for her.
Yeah, right. Because it actually matters now.
Yeah. So that's the hot mess, and I guess we are excited to see how this hot mess concludes. And I mean, there definitely are posts online of pictures of Clare and Dale together. So once this finally happens, I hope we get like the after the rose thing where you catch up on what's really going on. I hope we get something like that.
I think we probably will. Yeah. I'm curious to see, like, I would assume that maybe this next episode is like all Clare until the end, and then Tayshia shows up at the end somehow. But you know, the rumors that I've heard is that Clare makes it through 3 rose ceremonies. We've been through 2, so maybe we start this next episode with you know, the next rose ceremony. Obviously she needs to do that because she just wrapped up her second group date for this cycle. So maybe that happens, and then there's probably more drama with Dale, and that's when the blow up happens, and she's apologizing to the guys. But I'm like, how do we end up, like, how do we get to the place where Clare announces that she's done? I cannot wait.
Honestly, I see it fairly easily. She's like, she is one step away from it. Like you say, we have one more rose ceremony, but I'm like, how does she could not bring herself to do half the stuff she was supposed to do in this episode. So if the next thing is a group date or what is next? And she's just not going to be able to bring herself to do it. And the rose ceremony is barely going to happen if it happens.
Yeah.
Once again, she's going to be like, I don't know, you.
No, totally. Like, Dale, you already have a rose, so I can't give one to you.
Yeah. Did I mention I gave one to
anyone
Dale?
else?
Anyone else? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I guess
Who's
just
that
like I'm gonna
comedian I
walk
talked to on
away,
Instagram?
and it's like first come first serve. I'm just gonna leave this tray of roses, and whoever doesn't get musical chairs, you know, whoever doesn't get a rose, you're out. I don't care. Good night.
Yeah. Help yourself. Help yourself to these. I also just want to say, why does Chris Harrison always come out at the rose ceremony to say, "This is the last rose"? What? Why?
That is.
Why?
I love it. It's just
No,
that is
it.
Chris Harrison has the easiest job in television because he sometimes doesn't even come in to give the guys group date cards. Like sometimes it just shows up at the door and they're like, here's the group. And like literally the only time you see Chris Harrison in an episode is when he steps in to say, gentlemen, Claire, this is the final rose.
Stop
when
it.
You're ready.
Why?
And that's it. Like
it feels so unnecessary. I feel like you could just do a pan down to the one rose on the table, pan back up to the girl, and we get it.
Chris Harrison is like, I'm not
shut it down.
Letting you get me out of this franchise. I need a line every episode. Like and he gets it.
Yeah, it's in his contract, Natalie. He's like, I will always walk up and say it's the last rose.
Right.
Do not take it.
Try to take that away from me. Yeah.
I feel like that's different. Leo, Phil is actually leading you guys on the race. Chris is just like popping in.
It's easy to lose count of the roses, and that, you know, Claire's far away. Maybe they can't see the tray. Chris has to come in and let them know. In case you were wondering what that one rose meant, it means that it's the final rose.
Oh, okay. Got it, Chris. Thank you. Oh, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Woo. All right. Now I'll freak out because I haven't gotten a rose yet. Got it. All right. Well, thank you for bringing me forward to this insane season of Bachelorette, David.
So thrilled we are covering this. It's a bizarre season for you to like jump in on because it's so unorthodox, but it's juicy. I'm loving it.
It is. It is super entertaining, even though I'm like, what is happening? It's great. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us live and hanging out with us in the chat. We appreciate you guys entertaining us. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And if you're joining us later, God, let us know. I guess here's the challenge for the comment section. Okay.
Yes.
Name as many of these guys as you can without looking it up. That's the challenge.
Please. Yes. Yeah. And if you tell me if you like any of them.
Yeah. Dale doesn't count. You have to name the guys other than Dale, and we'll see who can get the most.
Exactly. Wonderful challenge. All right, you guys have a wonderful and safe Halloween weekend, and we will see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.